G'day everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the survivor from Down Under. I'm a survivor of a relationship with a narcissist and their toxic behavior, which lasted for 30 years. I can say it doesn't matter where you are from in the world or what religion you follow, there are toxic and narcissistic people in every dynamic. So I'm here to share my knowledge and help on your journey. Your freedom awaits. Even though it may not feel that way at the moment. It's a truly difficult time while you unearth the truth and what you have discovered during your life with these people, but you're not alone. Remember that. If you've ever dealt with a toxic partner or a narcissist, you've probably noticed that they have a unique way of twisting words to manipulate and control others. It leaves you feeling like you're going crazy, doubting your own instincts and perceptions. Have you heard of terms like lying by omission or love bombing? These are just two, so in today's video, we're diving into toxic and narcissist behaviors, the terminology, and their true meanings. We're going to break down the language together so you will be able to not only spot the tactics, but understand the motivation behind them. Let's get into it. We will start with one of the most common terms associated with toxic people or narcissists: gaslighting. This is when someone manipulates you into doubting your own reality. They want you off-kilter or off-center, questioning your own sanity. For example, they might say, "That never happened." Or, "You're imagining things," even when you know the truth. The goal is to make you feel confused, dependent, and unsure of yourself. Over time, gaslighting can erode your self-esteem and make you doubt your ability to trust your own judgment. Love bombing. This is when someone showers you with excessive affection, compliments, and all the attention you ever wanted, especially at the beginning of a relationship. But they will also use this at times where they may be losing control during the relationship just to keep you in the cycle. Remember, it's about control. But I do understand love bombing can be an awesome feeling. It might even feel intoxicating at the time. But be warned, it's a strategy to lure you in and make you emotionally invested before their true toxic behavior starts to show or repeat if you are already stuck in the cycle of abuse. They're often mirroring you, reflecting back all the things you want to see. Don't mistake this intensity for what you may think is intimacy. Healthy love grows steadily, not at warp speed. So take it slow. A loving, caring person will be happy to take things at a pace you are comfortable with. Flying monkeys. This refers to people the toxic person or narcissist manipulates into supporting their agenda and attacking you. They become extensions of the narcissist, doing their dirty work. These flying monkeys can be family or mutual friends, but most of the time, they might not even be aware they're being used by the toxic person. The narcissist is a cunning person, and the flying monkeys are tools the narcissist uses to isolate and control you, making you question who you can trust, which isolates you. Again, in a state of confusion over your reality. Projection. This is a common toxic or narcissistic behavior. It's when the toxic person accuses you of doing the very things they're guilty of. For example, if they're lying, they'll accuse you of being dishonest. By projecting their own flaws onto you, they avoid accountability and shift the focus onto you, making you feel defensive and diverting attention away from their own bad behavior. Hoovering is when a toxic or narcissistic person tries to suck you back into their life after you left them, or they left you, or you have set clear boundaries. Maybe you've finally gotten free, taken back your power, and suddenly, there they are, with apologies, promises, and declarations of undying love. This could be weeks, months, or even longer, but they will almost always try to reconnect at some point. But trust me, please, it's not about real change. It's about regaining control over you. You have to remain strong and don't fall for it. Their actions will speak louder than their words or their crocodile tears for that matter. This one is very common, the silent treatment. It's the classic manipulation tactic. It's when the toxic or narcissistic person ignores you as a form of punishment. Ever tried to work out what you did wrong when they suddenly won't talk to you? You may ask, what's wrong? Then get the answer. Nothing. Even though you can clearly feel something is not right, you then again try to address an issue and they refuse to respond or acknowledge you. The silent treatment is a power play they use to make you feel insignificant and desperate for their attention. It's about control and making you responsible for their emotions. Don't reward this bad behavior by chasing after them or begging for their attention, as hard as it may seem for a normal, loving and caring person like yourself. Triangulation. It is when toxic or narcissistic individuals brings a third party into the mix to create competition or jealousy. They might compare you to someone else, making you feel inadequate or insecure. It's a way to destabilize you and make you fight for their approval. Remember, a healthy relationship is built on trust and security, not on manufactured drama and chaos. Devaluation. This is when the toxic or narcissistic person starts to criticize, belittle, or ignore you to undermine your self-esteem. The compliments will slow down or even stop, and the criticisms will begin. It's all part of the cycle to keep you feeling unworthy and dependent. Remember, this is about their own insecurities and not you. It's a need for control, not about your worth at all. So stay strong, rebuild, and look within. You're worth it. The discard. This is what happens when a toxic or narcissistic person feels you're no longer useful to them or they have lost interest in you. They may have found a new source of narcissistic supply, or when you've started to see through their facade. The discard can and will probably be brutal. They might ghost you, abruptly end the relationship, or move on without explanation. Remember, you deserve closure and respect, something a toxic or narcissistic person is incapable of giving. So remember that as hard as it feels at the time. Smear campaign. When things don't go their way, or after a relationship ends, a toxic or narcissistic person might launch a smear campaign. This is designed to ruin your reputation. They are masters of manipulation and will twist the narrative to make themselves look like the victim. They'll spread lies about you to mutual friends, family, or colleagues. There will be no limits or boundaries to how far they will go, even straight-out lies with no basis. The goal is to isolate you, discredit you, and make it harder for you to recover. They will try to preserve the narrative they have created to shield them from what is actually true and make you out to be the bad person, and they forever play the victim. I'd have to say the smear campaign is probably the most hardest abuse tactic to cope with as a survivor of toxic abuse. It's not fair at all, and it's probably when you're at your lowest, so please believe in yourself. You can move forward as hard as it seems at times, and it will feel hopeless. But once you can move past this, you're on your way to healing and a better life. Future faking. Future faking is when a toxic or narcissistic person makes big promises about the future to keep you invested in the relationship. They dangle these carrots of happiness in front of you, but the reality is those carrots are plastic, not real. These promises are rarely, if ever, fulfilled. It's just a tactic to keep you hooked. Ever got excited about something they said you will do together, only to keep getting excuses why they can't do it? All they will do is string you along while they continue their manipulative behavior without a care for your thoughts or feelings. Word salad. This one is a truly mind-bending one. Ever felt like a conversation with a toxic or narcissistic person that goes nowhere? That's word salad. It's when they use circular reasoning, unrelated topics, or nonsensical arguments to confuse and frustrate you. You try to have a rational discussion, and it's like they're speaking a different language. Nothing makes sense. The goal is to exhaust you so you drop the issue entirely, all the while getting away with their bad behaviors. They use this as a way to avoid accountability and make you question your reality and your own sanity. It's truly twisted. We will go through some more shortly, but I'd love to hear your comments, experiences, or a simple yes in the comments below. It will show other people in the same situation that they are not alone. Let's keep going. Breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing happens when a toxic or narcissistic person gives you just enough attention or affection to keep you chasing after them. It's like giving a starving person crumbs, just enough to keep them alive, but not enough to nourish them. These breadcrumbs are designed to keep you hanging on, hoping for more, while they continue to prioritize their own needs. It's a cruel game, designed to keep you emotionally invested while they put in minimal effort. Mirroring. In the early stages of a relationship, a toxic or narcissistic person may use mirroring to win you over. They use this mostly during the love bombing stage. They'll mimic your interests, values, and personality traits. But it's not genuine. It's a calculated way to make you feel like they're your perfect match or soulmate. They're reflecting back what you want to see, everything you ever wanted in a partner, creating a false sense of intimacy and connection. But unfortunately, it's definitely not real. Narcissistic supply. This refers to the attention, admiration, or emotional reaction a toxic person gets from others. They are energy vampires, parasites feeding off the emotions of those around them. It doesn't matter what form of supply they get, it can be positive or negative. It doesn't matter as long as they can extract your energy, they will get their supply. Just remember, you're not seen as a person, but as a supply, a source of validation for their ego. They need constant admiration, attention, and validation to feel good about themselves. So that's what you have to understand. It may sound foreign to a normal person, but this is what they are seeking all the time. Stonewalling, similar to the silent treatment. This is when a toxic or narcissistic person refuses to engage in a conversation or acknowledge your concerns. You try to communicate, to have a productive conversation, and it's like talking to a brick wall. It's a tactic to control the situation and make you feel powerless. They are shutting down any attempt at healthy communication, leaving you feeling frustrated, unheard, and confused. Fake empathy is just hard to understand from someone who has true empathy. Fake empathy is again used to manipulate you. They'll try to convince you they understand and care, but their actions tell a different story. It's often a ploy to regain your trust or shift blame away from themselves. Pay attention to their actions, not their words. Always remember, actions speak louder than words. This took me a while to work on this one, but once mastered, it is a powerful tool in decoding a toxic partner and their manipulation. DAVO. It's next level stuff. It stands for deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. This is a complex strategy toxic people use during conflicts. When confronted, they'll deny their actions, then attack you for bringing it up and claim they're the real victim. It's truly a masterful manipulation tactic. It's all about deflecting accountability when you raise a sensitive issue and designed to maintain their position of power during the discussion and while putting it all back on you. It's a truly unbelievable tactic which just leaves you confused and apologetic. Pity plays. Just when you thought it couldn't get any lower. Let's look at this unbelievable one. A toxic or narcissistic person often will use pity plays to gain sympathy and avoid responsibility. They want you to feel sorry for them, to excuse their behavior, because they've suffered so much, and as a normal person, you naturally will. This tactic is designed to make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself and disarm you. Remember, you have the right to set boundaries and protect yourself, even if they try to guilt trip you. Stand up for what you believe in. Your boundaries do matter, so you definitely have the right to defend them. Take it from me, they really hate it when you enforce your boundaries. It's their kryptonite, grandiosity, an exaggerated sense of self-importance. They have a need to be admired, to be seen as superior to others. They might brag about their accomplishments or exaggerate their abilities. It's a way to mask their insecurities they are feeling. They will also demand admiration from others so they can feel superior. It's what they do. Lying by omission. Probably the one I found the hardest to get my head around as a normal human being. Lying by omission, one they will use tactfully, one they will always be used to get their way. Usually it will involve others to help twist the truth right before your eyes. It is a tactic toxic people and narcissists use so well. This is when they withhold key details or only tell part of the truth to manipulate the situation in their favor. For example, they might say, "I went out with friends last night," but leave out that they were actually with someone they knew you wouldn't approve of. It's a subtle form of deception designed to control the narrative and avoid accountability while technically in their minds, not lying. Always trust actions over vague explanations and ask clarifying questions when something feels off or you have a gut feeling. And finally, discard and hoover cycle. This one is a combination of tactics they use, usually once they have you trapped. It's a cycle, which is a painful pattern designed so that they can keep you trapped in a toxic relationship for long periods of time and even years. After breaking things off, or when there are threats of ending the relationship, they will often come back with apologies and promises to do better. You truly want to believe them, to think they've changed, but it's rarely the case. Again, manipulating your good nature for their own purposes. All they are seeking is to have you back under their thumb and have control over you again, right where they want you, and it will just be a constant, ongoing cycle on repeat. So, there they are. Please remember, as a loving, caring, and unique individual, if you can understand this terminology, you can recognize toxic or narcissistic behavior for what it is: manipulation and control. Remember, knowledge is power, and it's the first step toward breaking free from the cycle and protecting yourself. Once you understand their tactics, you can start to see through their facade and take back your power on your journey to freedom. It's waiting for you, and it feels so good when you break free. I have traveled this path and learnt so many things which helped me become a better person and the person I always wanted to be. Trust me, it's worth the effort. You can do it. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. You never know who might be struggling in silence, looking for this information to make sense of their twisted world they are now living in. Until next time, take care of yourself and stay informed. And remember, believe in yourself.